first episode back.
You forgot to introduce us.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying Happy New Year.
All right.
So anyway, I'm Tucker Schroeder. This is
Bryce Wilson.
That is
Shane Burke.
And we're here for our first episode back. A little break from the new year, but we're excited to be back. We have some great things in store for this year.
Oh.
And just super jacked up to doing another episode with you guys.
It seems like it's been a little while, but I mean, it has though.
Yeah,
I mean, it has. We've been busy. This is, definitely before Christmas is the last time we were all together.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure.
It's
Of
been
it.
4 weeks.
Yeah, which is not normal for us. We're usually at least once a week somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But it is good to get back, and I had a great break, and I know that you guys did too. So it was good.
It's always good time to take some time away from stuff and get back into the groove of things, and then how we are. We're excited to have you guys as viewers, and we're excited to be here with each other. So
Absolutely,
for sure.
Definitely
Big plans coming this year. Y'all stay tuned. We've been saying that, but we're getting closer and closer to some things that we're really working on, and we appreciate all y'all support. Can't appreciate it enough, honestly. But we ask for your continued support this year because we got some big major moves we're working on. So I'll allude to that for now, and maybe we'll clip this part and be like, I told you. But until then, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of our bourbon news-ish, kind of.
Bourbon topic.
It's kind of bourbon topic,
yeah. With the new year rolling around, not a ton of new things going on. I think a lot of distilleries are kind of just roping into the new year. I think more stuff will come out as the new year comes, new bottles and all that.
Yeah, a few little products here and there, but nothing major right now.
One thing that we've seen recently that's been really popular in the industry and something that I think is a big question for a lot of people is celebrity crossovers, celebrity branded whiskeys, bourbons, all that. We're seeing it time and time again now, and just kind of want to give our thoughts and opinions on those type of bottles. And I think when I look at a celebrity bourbon, I don't know if it necessarily draws me into it more. It definitely piques my interest, though. So I guess my question to you two is when you see a celebrity bourbon on the shelf, how do you guys feel about it? Does it make you want to buy that bottle more? Typically, it's more money too, so it's you got to take that into account as well. So,
I feel like if it's somebody that I really gravitate to, like a person or a business, then yes, I'd really be pushed to get it. I have not really seen that yet. I mean, there's some people that I appreciate and that I like that are doing other spirits.
Right.
That's not really in my realm. I mean, a good example for me is y'all know I love Knob Creek. And Jack Harlow did one with that. And I think that that's really interesting. Am I a super Jack Harlow fan? No, not EB.
Not EB. Shout out EB.
Not EB. Shout out to EB. But I do like Knob Creek, but I had somebody that picked it up, and my first question was, what was the juice talking about?
Yeah.
So I think for me, again, unless it's somebody that I really am gravitating to, I'm kind of in the same situation. If it's worth the buy, because I'm actually probably going to open it, then But if not, then probably not.
I'll say this, and this is just I could care less about who. I don't care at all. If it's good, it's good. And honestly, the trend that I've seen, and I'm not saying it's everybody's deal, but the trend that I've been seeing is that a lot of the celebrity bourbons, they're usually a lower proof than I care for because they're going to water it down and make it more approachable, probably for the people who aren't super bourbon drinkers but fans of those people. Yeah. They're not going to want something 115, 120 proof that I prefer. So I think that's number one for me. The other thing is, too, a lot of times, especially just new whiskeys in general, they're rushed. Yeah. I feel like they're young, they're rushed. They're like, hey, it doesn't matter. You got your name on it. Let's get it out there. So I haven't tried them all, but I was just telling you all, I think it's Gentleman's Cut. It's like Steph Curry's deal or whatever. Yeah. I think the proof on that was 90. I'm just not crazy about that kind of stuff. I'm not going to spend $60, $70 to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll try it, but the celebrity thing to me, I don't care, man. Yeah. If it's good bourbon, it's good. If it's not, it's not. I think
the knock for me on celebrity bourbons is, I think you already touched on it, rushed at times. And I also think it's an excuse for distilleries to maybe not put top quality juice in the bottle because they know it's going to sell off name value, off marketing, off all those things. I'm trying to think of the one that I kind of like, I think more so than other people. I really like Wild Turkey Long Branch. That's with Matthew McConaughey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I actually really like that bottle. And I know a lot of people don't like that bottle.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. I know it's lower proof and it's got the mesquite filtering thing.
But you don't like it more because of Matthew McConaughey.
No, I do like the juice.
Yeah, I understand.
Fix me up here if I'm wrong, but the King Ranch Old Forester,
that
was actually fire.
Similar thing.
That's a good bourbon.
Good.
That is something where, just as the example I alluded to, if I was able to get my hands on that, yes. Like, I didn't even. It was to the point where I didn't even care. I had family down in Texas, and I'm calling like, you run to the liquor
Where's
store.
that?
Yeah, that's true.
And then they ended up actually having it here.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to try it.
Tried it. It
awesome.
was really good.
It is really good.
And it's sad that it's not something that you can get.
Yeah.
I think I kind of want to hit one more point. I think collabs in general are cool. I think that they're awesome.
Yeah.
I would say my thought is if an individual cares, okay, like I can't remember exactly what it is. Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
It's
who's
Louisville
that?
basketball player. Why am I drawing a blank on his? I can see his face.
Y'all can think about it, but my point is, I think it's more to it when someone's like, "This is my brand."
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm stepping out on a limb. This is mine.
Yeah.
Like I think that means more to me. Collabs are cool though, especially in like other industries and whatnot. I can't think of who it is.
Why can I, bro?
Isn't it something Smith?
Is it
Russ Smith? Russ something?
It's not him. Is it? That's bad. We should know.
We probably know. We'll do the research.
But Mr. and Mrs. anyway. Yeah. But you know what? There is a new collab that I do want to try.
I think, okay. Now, let's say hypothetically, if a distillery did a collab with Chris Stapleton, would y'all want to try that?
I would. Tucker. How did you know? That's what we have today. Oh my God. Wow. I just like somehow, I don't even know. I don't want to
Merry
talk.
Christmas to us.
Dang, we do want to try this collab. That would be crazy.
So this is a new one on the market.
Yeah, this is brand new, brother.
Just released. I think January 4th was the release date. So
we're currently filming on, what is today, the
7th.
The 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 3 days post-release, man.
So
this is pretty early.
We're pretty excited to have this bottle in the studio, in the bar. So but yeah, speaking of Chris Stapleton, this is a Chris Stapleton Buffalo Trace collab. Well, really, Harlan Wheatley, the master distiller for Buffalo Trace collab. So, yeah, I mean, super stoked to give this a shot. So, if you couldn't tell why we were talking about celebrity,
yeah, we kind of obviously leading into this, but yeah, we're right at 90 proof on this, which is not terrible for me. I just I prefer higher proof, as do both you gentlemen here. But I like the map of my Lexington in the back of this bottle. You
really cool.
May not really be able to see this on camera, but the front of this back label is inside of. I mean, you can see it through the bottle.
We'll put up the video.
Yeah, we put a little B-roll up there.
Yeah,
but it's a really simple bottle to look at. I mean, there's not a lot going on except for that map, which I think is awesome. Being a Lexington boy,
for sure.
I feel like I'm.
You're getting there.
I feel like I'm on my way.
You're close enough. We're close enough.
But I think one thing that's really cool is being in this area. Everybody knows of Chris Stapleton, but he is just now kind of blowing up.
Right.
For two things. One was that national anthem that he did.
Yeah,
killed it. Absolutely killed it. He's so talented, man.
I mean, I have like old school R&B folk who like that's all they listen to is like that Chris Stapleton. Like he really killed that, and I'm like, wow, like I mean, he's an old Kentucky singer, and they're like, man, he's
got a lot of soul, man. He's got a good voice. He's got a lot of soul.
And then on top of that, now he's on the ESPN Monday Night Football.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I love that for him.
I was thinking about that, and I'm, that's a Phil Collins song, but they got Chris Stapleton and Snoop Dogg on there. I thought that was
crazy.
I thought that was super interesting, but like now he's privy to hundreds of thousands of people who might not listen to his music.
Yeah,
but now. Following up and doing stuff like this, like
vocalist of the year and all different types of awards. So, let's see if he can help.
So I was gonna say,
let's see if he can blend whiskey. This is not.
I was gonna say, so what I do know is that this bottle is gonna be a good seller. What we're gonna tell you is, should it be or should it not? So let's go ahead and get a nose on this thing.
I will say I like the nose a lot more than what I thought I would.
I will say this much: the nose is gentle.
Yeah,
it's gentle. It's a soft. There's nothing that's like, oh my God, that's really hitting me. There's nothing I'm really pulling specifically. I don't know if you are.
So I'll say this from perception of the bottle, and then even more in perception of the glass. It is light.
Yeah,
off the rip.
It is.
So that makes me wonder like how long it was aged. Definitely don't have an age statement on that, but that was something that I'd like to know.
Now this is a whiskey. Or a blended whiskey, so the assumption is that this isn't just bourbon. I'm assuming there is some bourbon in it.
Yeah.
But the assumption is that there's different types of whiskeys in there. I mean,
maybe like an Irish or Canadian
corn,
or something.
Canadian, something like that.
Huh.
I think it smells pretty good. I think I get some like maybe like a toffee, like a Heath bar, like gentle caramel.
I feel like it's like really light caramel and almost like a tiny bit of floral just dancing around there. It's very delicate,
like a buttery like kettle corn or popcorn or something like that.
But not super strong though,
because there is some type of corn in there.
I do get a bit of this corn sweetness, but
I will say this is our first time even cracking this. So
that's also true.
Fresh crack.
Also
very
true.
Fresh. I don't really have anything specific as to what y'all are saying. Some of our viewers might not even
pick up on it at all.
No, they may not even resonate with what I'm about to say, but y'all know exactly what I'm saying. To me, it smells like a summer bourbon.
Yeah.
It's not really you hear bourbon, you're like summer, like that doesn't align well.
Yeah.
But as a full year drinker, I think it does smell like that.
I think it's like a rounded off summer bourbon. Like it's like sometimes with like, I think of one that I love in the summer is that Redwood Empire.
Redwood Empire, fire.
It's like a brighter, not harsh, but brighter bourbon. This is not as bright, but it's soft.
It's
easy,
soft and it seems really approachable just on the nose.
It's not heavy. It's like if you were like in the summer, you're going to eat a salad because you're like, oh, it's hot outside. I want a salad. Like, it's like a salad whiskey.
Well, let's go ahead and rank it because I want to taste it. So let's try to rank the nose because I'm really excited to taste this bottle. So,
oh man, it's almost kind of hitting on some Knob Creek vibes for me. A little bit of peanut brittle in there.
Yeah,
there's something to it. There's some like type of like savory toffee or like kettle corn, like something salty.
I'm missing some of that just a bit.
Corn?
I don't think I'm picking.
Yeah,
I'm not
I definitely
picking
get a corn note. So what I'll say is, I think the nose is actually pretty solid for this whiskey. Now, what I will say is, I don't think it's not jumping out the glass or anything like that. Like you really
it's also
have to,
90 proof.
You really have to search for the notes. I feel like, but it's very inviting. It's not sharp. No, I get no ethanol on the nose. I don't know about y'all.
Really.
So I think for that, I think I'm 3 flat on the nose, like just above average.
I'll make it short and sweet. That's literally exactly what I was about to say. It's above average, but not a ton of it. Above average, so 3 flat, 3 crowns out of 5 for me.
I like it a little bit more than y'all. I'm gonna go 3.3.
Okay.
I'm actually picking up something that y'all probably disagree with. It's almost like some spearmint.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that actually, Shane. Believe it or not, you saying that it's like fresh and light. There's some type of quality with that.
It's like it's and that's kind of why I like it because it has that bourbon-esque, but it's also like super fresh.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Well, boys, you know what time it is, man. Let's go ahead and do it.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Harlan, for this bottle. Yeah, let's see what it's talking about. That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty.
It's not bad whiskey.
That's pretty good.
That's really not.
That's easy. That's easy going. Again, word we don't love to use as bourbon snobs or bourbon drinkers. It's smooth.
Yeah. It is smooth. It's smooth and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's a light sweetness to me. It's not overbearing. It's an easy sipper. I'm getting solid classic bourbon notes, a little bit of bourbon vanilla. Yeah. Definitely picking up a little vanilla, but almost like a perfumey vanilla.
Yeah.
It was extremely light on my palate.
It is light.
It's very light.
It was almost so light in the beginning that I didn't like it.
It's very easy to drink. Like as far as like drinkability,
very
as
approachable.
Drinking a whiskey,
yes,
it's easy to sip because
you guys ever see alcoholics in movies and they just like drink bourbon?
Yeah, that's what this is so easy just to throw back. Yeah,
this might sound weird too. This tastes like bourbon flavored, like a drink that's like tastes like alcohol, but it's. I really get no. You know what I mean? It's almost like a mock alcohol.
A mocktail. Okay, because it's like
I really don't get any alcohol type. I mean, obviously, there's a little proof to it, but for literally our first whiskey of the day, this is not lighting me up at all. Like
That's also true. We don't have numb mouths or numb tongues right now. There's almost. Sorry, I know you're about to say something. Don't forget it.
Go ahead.
There's almost a bitterness I don't care for.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a bitterness in there that's shining through. Like I'm almost like, okay, this is light and inviting. This is sweet. Both.
I get back.
Kind of. So I'm just now picking up on the front though.
Yeah.
The initial thing that I called it out was in the back, but now I'm like, I get it just a little bit on the front, but definitely on the back. It's like a bitterness I don't care for.
So I think what I was going to say, one thing that y'all hit on is proofing it low and keeping it a certain way. if he was trying to get this to be an everybody bourbon, he achieved that.
I agree.
I think this is one that's like, okay, let's talk about like a model or a blueprint that like Jack Daniel's follows, where Jack Daniel's is an everyday man's whiskey that you can drink all the time, no problem. It's easy, it's smooth, it's sweet, all those things. I think that's a similar aspect to what this is. Higher proof than Jack Daniel's.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, it's very solid. There's definitely, for a finer palate, there's some notes that you can pick out. Like there is some type of bitterness or maybe a sharpness at the end there.
Yeah.
But like, now we did not mention this. This is a $40 bottle, so
That's
$40
not
for a
bad at all.
collab.
it's really not that bad for like a collaboration. Chris Stapleton and Harlan Wheatley collab. So like, I mean, I feel like Buffalo Trace always has decent retail value for their bottles. Now that's retail.
Exactly.
So who knows what this one will do at the moment? From what I've seen it at, it's $40. They got it at the distillery right now.
This is worth every penny for $40. This is
I would buy
totally
it for
worth
40.
it. I definitely for 40, I agree. And I think that, I mean, we've said this 1,000 times. We'll always say it. Everybody's palate's a little bit different. This isn't necessarily my cup of tea, glass bourbon, but I definitely can see it being other people's. I definitely think it's well made. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not going to go crazy over it myself.
I think people who aren't bourbon drinkers but drink would like this.
Yeah.
I think that this is approachable. This is one of those bourbons where it's like, hey, I don't really know, this is approachable by anybody. Literally.
Yeah.
I'll kind of go ahead and start getting into my palate. It's almost like this is real descriptive. Toffee, Bananas Foster with tobacco.
I think Bananas Foster is definitely right on.
I see that, and I'll tell you what, that back end, now that I'm thinking about it, a little bit of tobacco. It's like a tobacco bitterness. It's odd on the back because it's a little different than what you get at first.
I kind of want to guess here. I want to say that they had a high char level on this and they pulled it out early.
Could have. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
that's where I feel like it's bitter.
I see why you say that.
If they had left it longer, then maybe potentially it would have been able to resonate a little bit more into that bitterness and not be as harsh. But that bitterness isn't like awful. And that's why I say it almost gives me Knob Creek vibes. Yeah. Almost exclusively. Like if I poured this up and somebody said that if this was the Jack Harlow Knob Creek deal, I'd have been like, okay.
I can see why you say that, Shane. I do see why you say that. I see some similarities through that. But I'm not blown away by it, but I can't hate on it. There's nothing to really like be like, oh, I don't really like that. I don't care for that bitterness, but it's not horrible. It's not like it's not going to keep me from drinking it. It's not that bad, but I definitely know it's there. And I think that I prefer a more viscous bourbon, a higher proof, just for me. So I can't crap on this bottle at all. It's well made. It's just not necessarily my palate. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and rank it because I feel ready just on the palate.
That's fine.
Again, 3 flat.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. It's good. It's well made. Like I said, it's just not necessarily my my go-to, but it's very approachable. It's sippable. There's a little sweetness into a bit of bitterness, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think 3 flat is right there where I want to be too. It's just above average.
This is 3 crowns out of 5 for anybody that's watching and new to this. Yeah. Just so you guys know.
So that is our scoring ranking system, and I just think it's slightly above average. I think it's very easy going. I think the mouthfeel is a little bit better than that it gives off to be, but it's super simple, not a ton to it. Very like corn and toffee and definitely some type of like caramel or like burnt sugar type of note. So like very good. A lot of vanilla. I think it's good.
I got a lot of vanilla too.
I think it's very good whiskey.
I think I was giving vanilla on the nose as well. I'm gonna sit right at 3.2 crowns out of 5. I like it just a little bit more than y'all. I feel like it is slightly complex for a 90 proof bourbon, and I appreciate that. The bitterness, do I care for? No, I might tap into that on my
finish because that's kind of where it's coming in mostly for me too.
But as far as like the flavor profile, like what it actually is, what I described earlier. I really enjoyed that. I personally think if this was aged, I do not know the age statement on it.
It's not disclosed, I don't think.
I think if it was aged for 2 more years and proofed up at like 100, 110, I think this would be in the forest for me.
I could see that, Shane. I feel the same way. I think we're similar on the same page. I mean, mostly on the same page.
I think it's just begging for more complexity, but at the same like token is that what they were trying to do? Probably not. Like they were probably
exactly.
The name Traveler Whiskey and Chris Stapleton and simplicity, like that's probably what they were shooting for with this bourbon.
I have to agree.
Whiskey, excuse me.
I feel like if they did like a follow up, if this hits and they do a follow up for more like the bourbon fans and did something similar to this, which what I kind of described, more like I guess you could say a hardcore bourbon.
If they did an older barrel proof, like just a couple 2 years from now,
Traveler.
give me 2 years of this, do a barrel proof Traveler, and I think that would go nuts.
I'll go ahead and kick off with the finish. I'm gonna give it a 2.8. It is slightly, well, I guess it is slightly above average still, because 2.5 would be
dead center. Yeah.
So I like it. It's just not the bitterness I don't care for. I will say, as I've had more sips, it is heating me up a little bit. So I do feel like the proof is there, but the front to back, not necessarily my cup of tea. So 2.8.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead. Get into the finish. Like I said, there's definitely a bitterness quality, which bitterness doesn't always have a negative connotation, especially in bourbon or whiskey for me. Sometimes there's almost like a welcomed bitterness. I've used that term several times.
Depends on what the bitterness is, what it encompasses.
Sure, because sometimes it's like an orange rind, sometimes it's like a pine
bitterness.
cone or an oak or something like that. This one, there's not really anything in particular. It's just a bitterness I don't really care for, but it doesn't, again, it's not going to keep me from having a glass. There's some I'm like, oh, that's terrible. It's not that. It doesn't last super long, which I wouldn't expect because it's 90 proof. Like right now, I don't really taste it. But I did drink some water. It's just not really lingering. I got to give it a little bit below average on the finish. Yeah. If 2.5 is dead center, that's average. I'm giving it like 2.3 crowns out of 5.
Yeah.
Which, you know, like I said, it's not terrible. It's just a little bit below average on the finish, according to some other whiskeys that I can rank.
I think I'm certainly lower on the finish than you two. Like, to me, I don't think there really is one. Like, there's that bitterness, and like you get that pop, and then it kind of just goes away. Like the whole thing goes away.
Yeah.
And I understand that. Okay, let me step back too. It's like from an experienced bourbon palate and drinker. Obviously, you are looking for a finish you want to finish, but if you're looking for a simplistic entry to a easy bottle of a blended whiskey, like, you know, you're not really looking for the finish. And honestly, you would attribute not having a finish to smoothness. Like if you say if you took a shot of that,
it's a good call,
you take a shot of that. I mean, you get no finish. You're like, wow, no burn. That's
this,
awesome.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like that's what
I agree.
Like that's like I'm like looking for that burn.
Yeah.
Like, I want that burn type of thing. So
that is really good.
I think it's below average for our standard of
finishes.
finish.
I agree.
I'm like 1.8. Yeah.
Which I see why you say that.
But it's like take all that information into account.
Again, that's exactly because that's a personal preference, not that it's not well made or good. So I guess that really leads us into to overall ranking. Shane, do you want to start or I can kick us off there?
I'll give it a 3. 3 crowns. I think it's good. Is it my favorite? Not necessarily. I think the thing that I'm happiest about, I guess this isn't really fair for my overall ranking. I think they did a great job as far as like, there's going to be plenty of people who like Chris Stapleton but don't like bourbon. Yeah. And they're going to like this.
They're going to love this
bottle. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job with this product, so I give it a 3.
Yeah.
3 crowns out of 10.
I think they did a great job with the product. I really do. I think it's for a lot of people, which is excellent. That's probably the goal. It makes a lot of sense. My personal, I'm trying to separate that because I'm thinking from like a marketing side or like, you know, a consumer side. It makes a lot of sense what they did with this bottle. Personally, I'm going to have to detach that and get my ranking, honestly, 2.7 crowns out of 5. Yeah. I don't want to go, it's a little bit above average. That's it.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's it. That's what I got from it. And that's just for me. But I think that I would recommend this to not your average, to your average whiskey drinker, somebody that's not super into it, whatever, wants to support Chris Stapleton. It's worth a try. And it's good for $40.
I think if you're looking to get into a celebrity whiskey at like a decent price point, like $40, you can look at some of these other celebrity whiskeys, they're really expensive, like 80, 90, $100 and up.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like an affordable, big time distillery, big time name.
Yeah.
And it's not a bourbon, it's a blended whiskey. I'm assuming it has bourbon in it. You really can't go wrong with this. Like, I don't know anybody who like remotely likes whiskey or even doesn't like whiskey who could drink that and be like, oh, that's bad.
That's not going to happen.
There's nothing about it that's like bad. It's just,
Yeah.
I think it's very average, and I think it's a 2.5 overall Crown whiskey or for us on our palate scale or how we rank things. Now, take all the other things into account, it's probably a little bit better pound for pound, but that's what I think.
But that's also, I mean, you got to think that same scale lies your Stags from, Buffalo Trace and E.H. Taylor Barrel Proofs and our, some of our old Elijahs. Like, so, that's why when we say in our scale, we're like, oh, it's really not that bad. And then our ranking sounds bad. You got to understand this is with.
Now, if you put this in a blind with like, say for like Jack Daniels, Jim Beam,
just some basic,
like 80 to 90 proof.
It would stand up.
That's going to be all right.
I agree.
That's like,
it's going to do well.
You might be able to pick that out and be like, I actually really like that. So I think that's where I
say get out there and try it.
Definitely.
I really had no expectations for this. I would say it met or slightly exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
I felt pretty good about it, simply because I like the flavor profile. I like the way it tasted, so that kind of accentuated my ranking.
I think it was really good for what it is. I think it definitely exceeded my expectations because of how many times we've gotten burned on other celebrity whiskeys that for the price point we tried, we're like, God, that's just not it. That's just not it. I think we've had, 2 or 3 that we really like, and we already kind of named the Long Branch and the King Ranch, and those are the only ones. So, Chris, thanks for the
good job, man. I will say this though: the only thing is, it's like if this starts going up and up and up on retail through popularity, I personally think this would be a bad idea to purchase probably past $50. Like 50 is really pushing it for me because it just, again, my flavor profile. But in general, for anybody, this is not more than a $50 bottle. But right now, retails at like 40. I'm just saying, just be careful of that number.
Something that you might know, is this going to be attainable?
At the moment, the plan for Buffalo Trace, from what they said, is this is an attainable bottle. It's at the gift shop right now. So if you're in Kentucky or surrounding area, you will come in and make a trip to Buffalo Trace. It should be at the gift shop as of January 4th.
Today's the 7th. We're recording, so I mean, this is 3 days post-release.
You should be able to get it there now. As far as once those initial stocks kind of dwindle, and this is getting distributed as well. So like liquor stores should start getting it. I think the thought is this for being an attainable whiskey for people, but the thought for Eagle Rare was to be attainable. Buffalo Trace is supposed to be attainable. Weller's supposed to be attainable. Yeah. So
I mean, there still is going to be scarcity with it.
I think that I think there's going to be an initial surge. So I think if you're wanting to buy this bottle and you can't find it on the shelves, but you see it on the secondary market, I would not buy it on secondary at all.
Just look for it.
I would just wait until you could get it for retail and then buy it. You're not missing out on anything unless you're like the biggest Chris Stapleton fan in the world. Then
that'd be
maybe
fair.
You want to.
Unless you just want it for the collectible piece. Yeah. I agree. I would definitely agree.
So yeah, I think we tapped into it. It's a good product. I think that we enjoyed it. Yeah. Now to kind of get into some King's Court.
King's Court. Tune out if you don't want to hear what we got to say.
Peace if you don't like what we got to say.
Actually, I don't know. We're not even talking to anybody.
Y'all can stay around.
How was your guys' Christmas and New Year's, man?
It was awesome, dude. I had a great year this year. Right the day after Christmas, you guys know, I went out to Colorado with my girlfriend and her family, so that was awesome. I really appreciated them for having me out there. I learned how to snowboard, kind of, a little bit. It's not easy at all, but it was cool, man. It was.
So I will say, I've tried to snowboard. I'm not good at it. I do not do it.
It's ski. Not easy, man. It's not easy.
I ski. Skiing. Did you try skiing?
No, didn't even touch a ski.
Pizza,
bro. Skiing is easy.
That's what I heard.
I don't stop like that. You just kind of like turn. It's easy, dog. That's why I liked it.
Pizza.
That's what you do.
I didn't really rock with the snowboarding simply because you can only face one direction the whole time.
That is true.
I know you can switch and go straight and like all that, but like I don't know, it just don't.
You just don't like it.
I like going forward.
Yeah,
I like going straight.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, you're good, man. You're good. It was a lot of time. Oh, man, a lot of fun. I had a good time with them, and I mean, then Christmas was great with my family. I spent Christmas Eve with theirs too, so it was great, man. I was able to be around family, pick up a new skill a little bit, and do a little bit of traveling, and it was a good one, man. I feel very blessed going into this year, and very thankful for my 2023. A lot of times you do a lot of stuff and you don't really think about it. I sat back the other day and I was like, did a lot this year. And I've been very blessed and very thankful for it. So it was a good time of like rest and reflection. We back on the road now, man.
Yeah.
Getting back to it. So
Yeah, man.
All three of us had crazy years, just like
it's a
a lot of
lot.
like growth in life, like a lot of changes, a lot of moving parts, a lot of networking.
Jobs, relationships,
and-
travel,
yeah,
business, our business. I mean, we had a lot going on.
And it's like, it doesn't feel, I don't know, maybe it doesn't feel that way because like that's just what we're doing. Like that's just our life.
in
Like,
the moment.
that's just how we feel about it. But I mean, when you do sit back and reflect, it's like, damn, we have done a lot.
Yeah.
Discussed, but
Beaver Dam, like DAM.
yeah. But yeah, no. And then as far as the holiday season goes, got to go home for a little bit. I don't know how many days it was exactly, but did a whole ton of stuff. Had 2 weddings and
You went a little duck hunting. Did a
little
little,
duck hunt.
yeah. Oh,
We got the kid.
call him
Hey,
Ducker.
okay.
That's Ducker
What?
Schroeder now.
Where's the tuck, bro? I can't even see
That's
Can't
what
even
I'm
see.
saying.
Well, he know he no shirt on.
I'll post the photo of me with my duck from the duck.
I
hunt.
don't really know if they care.
Oh, they're gonna see it. It's already on here.
All right.
It's
Was
on
it a
right now.
mallard or a duck? Because there's a difference.
Huh? It was a bluebill drake. That's what I shot.
Drake.
Load up the
Drake.
thing.
Drake.
Yeah.
Hey, tell Alec I'm coming on there and we need to get it.
I already
Yeah.
messaged him on Instagram
Yeah.
when he
Well,
did
they
it.
were-
I was like, I'm coming.
That is a group we need to get on the pod at some point. Alec and Stanley and
That'd be
his
cool.
boy Captain Young. They all want to be on the pod. They want a firefighter.
This is
They want a
Tucker's
firefighter's pod. Now their whiskey of choice is Jameson. So
Oh, we need to talk to you boys about that.
we can review Jameson, but they might get their feelings hurt if
And these
you
are all
know-
Tucker's Florida boys. These are all guys you grew
Yeah.
up with, just to let people know, and,
Yeah.
and people
Yeah.
from back home. Because Tucker, we adopted him into Kentucky, but he's
Yeah.
a Florida boy. So,
Mhm.
but those are good guys, man. You got a good group of guys
Yeah,
down
man.
there as well.
So no, it's just a blessing to be home, and like I said, 2 weddings. Congrats, Luke and Shay, and congrats, Audrey and Steele. And got home safely, and can't complain much. Ready for 2024. So
Yeah.
man.
What about you, Shame?
I mean, just kind of as you mentioned, reflecting on the year, man. 2023 was definitely a year for growth for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really, get into like anything too crazy, but I think that time is coming.
oh yeah,
Definitely had some time to more so like establish my life, and I'm definitely appreciative for that.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the moment when you're like really grinding in something, you're kind of like, man, this sucks. But like
Yeah.
looking back, you're happy you did it.
You look
For
at your
sure.
body of work, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to reflect.
So definitely had a good holiday. Spent time with family, man. I had a whole week off. That was awesome. Just got to get away from like the monotony of like work and whatnot. But yeah, it's been awesome, man. Definitely blessed. Blessed to have you guys. Blessed to be moving towards some attainable goals that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will set us up for life. So you
Yeah.
guys really be watching out for what we got going on. Everything we do is for us, but also we want to share it with you guys.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man. But
3 thankful individuals, man. I can really say that. And that's what I appreciate about you all. I think we all realize how tremendously blessed we are, and we're not afraid to say it, and I never will be. I'm always very thankful for things God has placed in my life, and none of us will ever be quiet about that, and we shouldn't be because we're thankful young men. So, with that being said, thank you all again for tuning in, tapping in our first episode of 2024, man. That sounds crazy. It sounds like the future, but it's here. So, anyway, tune in next time, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And with that, we're signing off.
Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate your guys' support. If you like what you're seeing, please check us out on
YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah. And one last thing, another shout out, another thank you to Happy Hour Bar and Liquor Store here in Nicholasville, Kentucky. You guys can check this place out. It's great. Thanks.
3 Kings Bourbon wishes you to drink like a king, but to act like one also. Please drink safely and responsibly.